So the idea is that we're one of the only creatures that we understand or we know of that has awareness and consciousness of our consciousness. Right. You are aware that you are aware. Mm-hmm. Seems like a double entendre. The reality is we know what we know, right? So if that's the case.
Welcome to the GYST Life podcast. It is our hope that the gritty, real, and uncensored insights we share with you here will help you get your shit together as you explore and discover what it takes to live your best life on your terms. This will be the first time we've actually come together without a real agenda other than to jam on the mics and catch up and share what's important and top of mind for us. I like to call these the spitball sessions. I'm going to try that again. I like to call these the spitball sessions.
A spittoon.
I don't know where that came from, but it was, that's what it is. That's what I've been calling these little impromptu, they're not episodes of the GYST Life podcast, but they are. But they're like the true behind the scenes stuff that usually never gets published.
Yeah.
But I want to publish this stuff because inside of Gritty, Real, and Uncensored, this is really where it starts to reveal some pretty good stuff. Man.
Agreed.
Yeah, so that was it. You guys have free reign. The only rule that I would put in place is try and manage everybody talking at the same time.
Mm. Yeah.
Because then nobody hears anything. Right?
Yeah.
And it's easier said than done. But
speaking of which, I just had a curious question for you. Those I'm gonna screw this up. I feel like no. No. Are they on purpose?
Yeah.
Those episodes, are those episode whatever 79, 80, 81 like that, or are those like a
special series? Yeah. So I set them up as a special series on purpose.
Literally on purpose.
It's on purpose. It's got a bit of a pun, double entendre there, but no, that's the series. It's about purpose, and there was 9 in total.
That should put me to sleep right now.
I do want some, but I want my own because I don't trust your stuff, and I might just freak out in the corner here.
For real?
I'm not even joking you. What was the last time Wakefield? It's too bad we should get Wakefield on here.
That guy.
The last time Wakefield was here, and he's like a mega user.
He is a Quran,
and I,
which is fun.
I'm a lightweight when it comes to this type of stuff, and we're standing here in this room, and it was good and it was fine, and I had a little bit, and that's usually where I should call it, just a little bit. And I decided, in my infinite wisdom, to just have a little bit more. And that's when I basically got pushed down the hill at Mach speed, and I'm fucking freaking out.
That's so great.
They have no idea though, because I gotta look like I've got my shit together. Yeah. Right?
It's such a good.
I even sent a message to my wife that day, going, "I don't know what to do with myself. I am freaking out right now. So I'm feeling the weight of responsibility." And like I totally fucked up, and
dude, I get it.
So I gotta be so careful with that stuff.
Yeah. The worst place you can be is, oh my god, I'm high. Oh my god, I don't want to be high right now.
Yeah, fully and completely. I remember this is like probably the most vulnerable you're ever gonna get. I just got some new stuff, and it was from a buddy, not from a dispensary. Great. And so my frame of mind was not where it should have been, and it was very, very strong stuff. So I smoked it.
Yeah,
I got high. The first 10 minutes are like, this is not bad, and then it just it comes in waves,
Yeah.
And then the first massive wave just hit me, and this is like maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm ready to go to bed. Kids in bed. I'm cool, whatever. And then and the wave hits me, and I'm like, fuck, I'm too high. Now I'm freaking out. I'm like, there's something in it. I don't know what's going on. And so my brain, I just completely lose control.
Yeah, dude.
So I end up in the backyard in my underwear at 4 o'clock in the morning, pacing the yard. I just gotta walk this off.
Oh my god, in
freaking out. Yeah, thank God it was still the summer.
It would have been better if it was in the winter, though.
Yeah, so I just let the weed come by, whisper at the bowl, and then leave very quickly. I'm much like that. I have a very low tolerance now.
I put a little bit in the bowl, it would be a sneeze for these guys, right?
Yeah.
But a little bit, and then I'm in the perfect zone to
stretches
just
it,
focus on whatever it is.
You're like
little more-
you're mellow, but you're like in the zone. You can get
Not
shit
hard,
done.
but
Like anything
gently.
beyond that is just like
It's too much.
this is
Maybe one day I'll graduate again.
it's definitely not on my agenda of things to accomplish. I'll put it that way.
Did I ever tell you guys? I think I told you this, and this might be like an old story for you. But did I ever tell any of you others about my mushroom trip?
No.
Oh my goodness!
Break it down, man.
No, please do.
It was a camping trip with a bunch of friends when I was back living in Vancouver, and we probably, so there was about 20 of us there at this cabin, and everybody was on mushrooms that day, and probably other things as well. And so for the whole day, we were doing mushrooms.
Jesus.
It was a lot of mushrooms. Like I'm pretty sure every maybe 3 hours or so, I'm eating more mushrooms.
Wow. You want
And I
to be
was-
God, eh?
Oh my god!
I was in a really good place, right? Like it was fun, and I'm like, yeah, I could totally do some more. Like there was no anxiety, no nervousness, no nothing. In the evening, I was even coaching others who were like fucking tripping balls
Nice.
to kind of keep them grounded, right? Because they thought they were going to go to heaven or some shit. And then the evening came around, and we were all pretty tweaked at that point and having fun, and there, of course, we're having libations as well. Somebody threw a log on the fire, and about 10 minutes later, it looked like the ground was moving. Like it was like a sea. The ground was moving. Well, it turns out that was an ant colony in the log, and they were all coming out of the of the log, and they were all on the chairs, and they were on the ground, and they were just
my god!
coming en masse towards everybody. I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Wow.
And
Is this real or what?
And I know I wasn't tripping out because everybody else saw it as well, and you just can't have that level of synergy if you're tripping out. So that was the first instance. We relocated back into the house, and I would say about 2:00 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning, everybody is starting to peter out and are ready to retire. Well, I wasn't ready to retire. And I don't know what it was, much to your story, like it just ramped up.
Yeah.
It just went into overdrive. And I'm in the car. Oh, fuck. I'm in the car with my, at the time, girlfriend, who I don't even know how she does it. She did so many different drugs while I was with her. And she could just sleep, like, out.
Really?
And I don't get how she did it. We're in the car. I'm in the front. We're in the front seat of this Acura Integra. Not the most comfortable sleeping accommodations. She's out cold. And I'm in, I don't know, World 12. And
About to battle Bowser.
yeah, wondering what the hell is going on. And so picture this. Every time I close my eyes, there's like these little light, they're like light forms, and they're like creating things.
Yeah.
And every time I close my eyes, that would happen. Like, okay, no, I can't close my eyes right now. That's not happening. And then I would look around, and I swear to God, I would see like animals walking around. And I'm like, holy fuck, this is not what I want right now. Like, I just, okay, ooh, chill, just breathe, just chill.
That's fine.
No, you're good.
At a certain point, I'm trying to collect myself, and I'm like, I can't close my eyes, so I'm trying to do it while my eyes are open.
Wow.
And then I feel like I'm kind of like bobbing a little bit, like I'm in the ocean. I'm in an ocean of myself. I like literally melted, and I'm floating.
That's fantastic.
It was.
Oh man, that's so
and
great.
it lasted all night.
That is fantastic.
It lasted all night.
All night.
Wow.
You have gone the full Terrence McKenna hero's journey. Like,
That's
Yeah.
Yeah, that's traveling with spirit animals.
Did
shit,
the
right?
mushrooms
That's amazing.
work, or?
I don't think so.
no, I think you need to Do that again for science.
Yeah. Well, actually, there are people actually doing that, which is pretty dope.
I would do mushrooms again. I
pun
never
intended.
had bad experiences on
Oh my
that stuff. And Patrick actually does micro doses of LSD. He'll be working in his, and this is part of the reason why he's up like until, he won't say it, but this is one of the reasons why he's up all day, all night.
Yeah, for sure.
He'll do a microdose and he'll be working on stuff, and he's just like in the zone and creating and.
That's like
There's
some
A whole new world.
What's that
Yeah,
movie
man.
called with the pill there?
Limitless.
Limitless. That's like some Limitless type shit right there.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
put drinking some, or taking some fucking drugs and.
Well, there's computer programmers in Silicon Valley that are microdosing in psilocybin to see code differently.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
To hack
That's
into
dope,
the
man.
system.
Well, because if you think about it, the psilocybin is rewiring your brain in different ways. It's opening the brain in different ways, but also because the neurological connections within the brain are very similar to the mycelial connection within the mushroom. There's like information that's stored within the mycelial network of the mushroom that is acting very much like a neural net. That's acting very much like the code that they're writing. So
That's
accessing
Wow.
a biological code
become a
through the
part of the
mushrooms.
matrix.
Right. You're seeing the matrix. You can decode the matrix, and then that can then recode. It can now code can mirror nature.
Yeah.
Can I just say that I'm so glad that I brought weed today?
The whole universe is like, we have, as humans, tried to break it down to math, right? This plus this equals this, or I'm sure the calculations get a little more in depth than that, but like,
Yeah.
we're all trying to figure it out, and it's kind of all on this basis of like math and understanding how things
Fractals.
operate. It's
Base 12
it's insane.
mathematics.
And I was like big on math and physics, and I never really pursued it because it was just like more like a hobby interest than it was anything else. But now, because of like neuroscience, and I fell into that because of like anxiety and depression and all that other shit, I'm trying to like understand that on a deeper level, and I ended up in this place now where I'm learning about like quantum physics and the string theory, and like this understanding of like the smallest parts of what we are as like existing even.
Yep.
And I'm just like blown away by the level at which we don't actually understand. It's crazy because we think we understand things, and then you hear
got a
scientists
fucking
who are
clue.
fucking studying this shit every day, and they're like, we have no idea, guys. And it's just,
Yeah.
I'm like, I just assumed that the whole world had this figured out, and I didn't.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm behind this. I'm like, I gotta catch up, and like the scientists are like, no, we have no idea, guys. We're completely lost.
One goes deep,
Watch the Connected Universe.
Oh, yeah,
Connected
definitely.
Have you seen that one?
No, I just like the way that sounds.
So
And we're all connected.
yeah, bro. Bro, do you even connect, bro?
Yeah.
No, the Connected Universe is a movie featuring the work of a physicist by the name of Nassim Haramein. Narrated by Patrick Stewart, so
Oh my god! I mean,
that's
fucking amazeballs. Yeah.
Again, 90s, right?
Yeah.
some of you might
Engage.
not know who that is.
But it's featuring the work of Nassim Haramein, and Nassim Haramein is particularly famous for actually creating the math to solve the string theory, so the unified theory of everything. He actually has the mathematical equations to actually unify all of
To
physics,
bridge all
all of it,
right.
within, and to get results within one standard deviation of actual proven. Yeah.
That's
So
insane.
that's what
dude's
Einstein
amazing.
was trying to do, wasn't he? Trying to
Yeah, and
theory
he
of
put
relativity.
he put
Yeah,
forward the theory, and Haramein has actually proven it.
really? He
Yeah.
actually found a
Like
way to
actually proven it. It's like from what I remember from the movie is that the mass of the Planck unit inside the proton is the same as the mass of the Planck units on the event horizon of a black hole.
Oh, really?
So it's
What are Planck units?
Planck unit.
the
Planck units
smallest
are
thing we know.
it's the smallest unit of matter that you can.
Did we learn this at some
Yeah.
point in our lives?
Neutrons and protons and electrons, that's an atom. That's what we grew up with.
So then
But
there's
it's actually
quarks,
like inside of each of those pieces are more shit.
Right, of course.
and the
Yeah,
and the
it goes
Planck
so deep, bro.
Yeah.
and the Planck unit is the small. I believe it's the smallest measurable
that they know of.
that they know
Yeah,
of.
it's so far, right.
Yeah, right. And this is what happens. The black, you see, you're on the edge of the black hole and shit, event horizon. That's the circle. There's this loop.
It's a torus. It's a toroidal field.
Right.
Yeah.
So existence exists in that tiny loop of the smallest thing that we understand to imagine like exists.
But what's
then
going-
we like stretch that out across the universe.
And what's going
and
on
it
in-
also exists there.
Exactly, because what's going on in that spot
Yeah.
is going on inside the proton of every atom of every cell. It's the same thing. And not only that, via quantum resonance, that which is going on there is vibrating that which is going on here, and the two of them are the same thing.
Because of
okay.
because of that
Quantum
the quantum
entanglement.
theory, right?
Quantum
Quantum
entanglement.
entanglement. So that piece over here does exactly
So it's all
the opposite of
connected.
this.
Because they're
forever.
the same piece.
Right. So we're all the same thing.
Yes.
It's insane. Now check this out, because this is where it kind of like now becomes real and applicable. We also have the power to control those things, just like this. So you're not thinking right now that your heart is beating. You're not consciously telling your brain or your heart to beat. You're not consciously telling your
I
lungs
am
to
now,
breathe.
by the way.
Right?
Yeah, I totally
He
am
is
as
now.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, keep beating, dude. Come on.
So
We can
your
do this.
awareness
like,
becomes
buddy,
the
you got this.
focal
Yeah.
point of operation. So you only have enough room in your consciousness for so much, but there's a bridge between your consciousness and your unconsciousness in the states just before you fall asleep and just before you wake up. We talked about that in one of the episodes of Purpose.
Yeah.
So in that state, you can program your unconscious to do shit like rewire your brain away from anxiety or depression, or in Crystal's case, to rewire it away from multiple sclerosis,
from a disease.
or cancer, or any of those other things.
Did you guys
control
listen
that.
to that episode at all? And I probably already know the
Yo,
answer.
it's crazy. Now
that
we don't fully understand it. Just like, and this is what I was alluding to before. Is like, we think that depression comes from a chemical imbalance. The chemical imbalance comes from your constant thought patterns in a loop that reaffirm
Right.
that idea. And so the idea now offsets the chemistry. So a chemist is going to look at that and go, it's the chemistry. Right?
The chemistry is the result, not the cause.
Exactly. It's just a symptom. It's a byproduct of. And so that's how deep our understanding is now. Is like, we didn't know before, and now the whole world is like opening up to this idea that you have more control than you want to admit.
I would
The
say
gro-
that there's like probably way more people aware of it, but people who embrace it's probably less than 10%.
Probably less than that.
It's
When
usually
you're talking about-
like
I fucking love
one
this
half of
conversation.
1%.
I'm doing my very best just to sit here and chill, but like everything I want in the world right now exists in this room.
Yeah.
I'm just like blasted. I'm reflecting. I'm thinking about all this creation, and I'm just like overwhelmed with fucking like gratitude, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm like
So-
vibrating right now.
So Devin, to your
Floating
point,
this fucking chair.
that's great,
That's great. I love it.
fantastic.
See,
wanna
that's
see
where
that.
I did not want to be.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah.
That's some Jedi shit you're
I'm
talking
alive.
about. That's good.
Well, yeah, what he's talking about is somebody I would say that I'm a fan, I guess, but somebody I study and listen to, and you know, I certainly could put more effort toward practicing, and that's something that I'm out to cause. So we should cause that as a group. However, the person that I've learned a lot from is Joe Dispenza.
That's exactly.
Intentional meditation.
When you hear from this guy 10 years ago, people are like, "Oh, this guy's a fucking
Crazy.
psycho."
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's talking about like exactly
Exactly
what
The thing
you're saying.
about crazy,
He's saying-
smart people is they look crazy to dumb people. I know that's like a cliche, but
Here's the thing. We sit here, most people sit here, and then we have a thought. We have a conscious thought. We maybe even have a dream. You might call it an intention or whatever, but people who are unaware of it are not going to call it an intention. They just think they're thinking.
Yeah.
But what Joe Dispenza is saying is when you are thinking something, something's happening.
Right.
You're actually creating something. The programs he's talking about is like, he's talking about killing off what is it, like somewhere around 10 million cells per minute or something like that, but you're also creating 10 million new cells, and those 10 million new cells are being programmed by the conscious and unconscious thoughts and feelings that you're vibrating, that you're omitting. They're being created from the source. You're the one creating them.
And there's a process to it too.
There's
it's
a
like
process
that thought,
to it.
When
and then
this-
you look for evidence, and then if the evidence is supported, then it becomes reality. So watch this. I want to be wealthy, and so I put the idea into the universe that I'm going to be wealthy, and then I look for ways that I'm wealthy, and then I confirm it with the emotion of gratitude,
Right, so-
and then the more. And so the crazy thing is like the more you perpetuate those habits and those cycles, the more you manifest that, and that is the secret.
I wanna-
remember the book.
I want to preface what you just said about being wealthy with how we define wealth in our lives, because we and society, this is a measure of what society has done. Our preconceptions about wealth are around acquiring dollars, mostly, like things,
yes.
right? And one of the things that, so in the work that I do and have done for a while, it's in creating dreams, right? Creating dreams for clients, creating dreams for really anybody who is wanting to do that work. And we did one as a group coming together who created this idea of like, this is an important thing to do about wealthy, remove the A, add an L. It's being well as the new wealthy. Because when we are well, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, we are more wealthy than most who have the dollars.
Exactly.
And it's not to say that you can't get the dollars either, but that's not what we mean about being well. It can't work, and it doesn't work anymore. And here's, I'm saying that to say this group of highly successful people who are crumbling. They lack foundation. They have no purpose.
There's no integrity.
No integrity. They are hitting their vices hard, but they can cover it with the dollars because the perception in the world is they got their shit together. But they are the complete opposite. They are completely torn apart.
Millionaires that hate their lives, like
It was
like
so-
Kate Spade, right? You know what I mean? She committed suicide.
Who's this?
She makes
designer.
She's a designer for handbags for women, and
Fashion accessories.
she's huge, an
Billionaire.
empire. And last year, I think it was,
Yeah.
she killed herself.
I was 17.
She had everything in the world, and this is it, right? Your perception now
Yeah.
is very different than like what reality is. When you look at people with success or money, right? You're not rich, right? You're not well.
Exactly.
All right.
So you fall into those vices.
So that's a new definition. That's really what I brought that all to just create a new definition for wealthy.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
we go subconsciously, we go to the dollars, right?
So
Something measurable.
You and I talked about this at the beginning of last year. So there's 5 of us in this room, right? We're building a crew. We have listeners. Let's fucking create something here. Because there's areas of my life where you guys insert a word, I'm open to coaching, but I struggle. There's areas of my life that don't work.
I
Okay?
think I
There
remember
are
what we're
areas of
talking
my
about.
life that don't work, and there are
Yeah.
other areas that I will take anybody to task on,
Right.
right? And each of you possess that as well.
Yeah.
And the likelihood is there's going to be some serious overlap. So we don't have to do this exact right now. We do it in our planning that we're going to create, but let's fucking create some things. 2020, let's do an experiment with our lives, with our bodies, with our relationships, with our
Like
podcast,
actually
with our money.
manifesting these
Yes.
ideas.
Yes, and let's all look at, hey, this is what David created. Oh my God, man, wow, can you believe that? We're struggling for 2 months and all of a sudden, boom, you landed 4 podcast contracts. How the fuck did that happen?
Yeah.
Right? We just started.
This
in
is so
context for
insane because I've
community,
already
actually.
kind of put it into play in my own life because it was when that happened, like when I saw it, I was like, I need to fully embrace this. Here's what's worse. I was in and out of the hospital for 6 months because I was dying. They couldn't figure out why. And I had to, at some point, have this tremendous amount of self-awareness to go, fuck, I'm doing this to myself. Right? And it caused me to go deeper and examine who I was and why I got to the place that I was. I remember being 13, sitting in the principal's office, getting in shit for acting out in class because I fucking hated school. But I noticed that the principal was a child psychology major, and I was like, watch this. I'm depressed. to get my way. But now that becomes a definition of who I am, and so I have to continue.
That is the
right. And so this
the alter
now
ego.
I have to be accountable to that. And I did a deep self-examination.
That's what
I
happened
encourage
to her.
everybody else to do the same thing. I put into the world what I wanted, and I matched that with my actions, and it came true. And now I'm in this room with these people, and I see all of it coming together in a profound way for me. Because I'm like, oh, Vern's got that shit covered. You know what I mean? Chris got that covered. Dave's got that covered. Al's got that covered. And I'm like, fuck.
Now what do we create together?
I'm at home, right? It's cool. It's like I'm finally at home, and I'm just sitting here, and I'm like, I feel completely like you. I feel completely at ease. And before, the first 10 times I came here, I was like, just fucking,
oh fuck,
inside. Yeah, for real, man. And for the first
Gotta
time
keep it
ever.
together. Gotta keep it together.
Yeah, dude. And I mean that, in your guts. And I'm just tired. I'm just fucking tired of being like this in my guts all
Just
day.
be like that. Totally, man. Oh my god, that's what the whole thing with the comedy and all that, man.
Yeah.
I love that, dude.
So
that was my personal breakthrough.
You know what's so interesting? The impact that we have on each other and how unaware of it we are. Right? Truly, we just run our course, run through the process, and we're none the wiser until we actually spend the time to reflect and observe and notice and stop rushing all the time. I don't know if this is tapped into. This is what we're creating here in the GYST Life, right? This vibrant, thriving, connected communities that fuels dreams. This was by design. You and I, we elevated. We're like, what do we want to create? What does it look like? I mean, I've done this work before, and now I want it to be real for me and for those around me. And so, what is it? It's not just a podcast. I keep talking about it's not just a podcast. Well, what is it? And so it's happening.
Gentlemen, check this out.
It's happening.
Yeah, dude. It's fucking
that
insane.
Blows my mind right
It's insane for me because David and I have had this conversation before, and it's probably around this time. I don't know, maybe Christmas or whatever. But we've had this conversation multiple times, and we've had this conversation years before we even started a podcast. When we started trying to figure out our shit,
it's almost like
to
time
develop
doesn't
ourselves.
exist.
Yeah.
You look back now, and because of your patience and persistence and putting that into the
It didn't look
universe,
like it then.
No, fuck right, it did not.
To your point, I love this right here, this piece when you were like, I fucking love that, man. Because I swear to God,
that is how it
I
feels.
have been and it's just recently, it's like being naked. You're just like, fuck, man. I just want to show the world. Why do I just want to show up in a space and be like, me, just what's up? And if this guy's like, oh, this guy, I don't even give a fuck. It's all good. That's the whole thing that we're thriving for. We don't even realize it. The whole time we think we have to be a certain way, and that's why I'm even doing comedy. That's if I'm even going to give it a try. It's not to do
just
comedy.
for you.
It's just for me. I just want to be able to go up on stage and regardless of the communication I'm getting
Fully
back,
self-expressed.
yeah, just be fully self-expressed and be myself.
I want you to think about why we did the podcast. Because the reason was not to do a podcast. It was
all started
for you and I to create some more accountability, some more vulnerability, some more transparency around what we tend to just, as men in particular, hold on, deal with ourselves, got to tough it out, keep pushing forward. We're like, no, we're not about that. It was clear we're not about that. So, okay, so let's just put mics in front of us. And Devin, you created this yesterday. That what happened was the mic became. Well, how did you create it? About it being an outlet. A responsibility. There's
when you put that thing in front of you and you're in the spotlight now, it's like you've already committed and you have no choice. You have to follow through with it, which means you almost. And this is what happens when somebody puts on a camera and everybody acts a little more goofy or whatever.
Well, everybody acts
so bloody weird. So this is what a microphone does. Is when that microphone's in front of your face, it's like, well, now I have no choice but to
say it,
be
vulnerable,
vulnerable, and that's it. It creates
and consider this
safe zone or whatever the fuck it is, right?
Well, and that was part of what we created. We didn't know it at the time, okay?
Yeah.
But we wanted to have an outlet to share what it is that we were going through.
Yeah.
Because we normally just deal with it ourselves. And so we would just come together and you know what? We're just going to push it out there. Fuck it. We got the capacity, the ability. We're just going to push it out there. But we're not doing it to push it out there. That wasn't our objective. It was just to share shit with each other and be vulnerable. And in the act of being vulnerable, you share it with other people. Okay, let's use technology. Bam. And it goes out.
And there's an undertone. What do we call it? A covert intention or a covert
passion.
A covert passion to have people hear what we're actually dealing with. And have them go, oh shit, I connected that. Oh wow, okay. And then
because we did that in real life. We do that in real life. Every person we talk to, we leave a ripple effect.
Yeah.
And so it was inside of owning that for each of us. So your stand-up, your desire to be heard and be gotten, be understood, which is my underpinning passion, my purpose is to have people do that. It's like, okay. And if you think about it, over the last 3 years, what have I been constantly, like, we have had uncomfortable conversations about you and your relationship to technology and and the ownership of what you say you're not good at, and me going, fuck that, you're good at that, here, take this on, here, take this on, Devin, here, take this on.
Yeah.
And as a result, it started to open up the space for you. It became easy. It became not a thing anymore. When people who come on the podcast, we have a way of creating vulnerability, of having people own this microphone like they've never owned anything before. It is just innately what we're capable of doing. And that ripple effect had you start to talk about wanting to be on stage. This was the catalyst for you being on stage and exploring that. We created the space for that to arise.
So you guys had that conversation back then?
Smattering all over the place, right?
You know what's funny? Back to your point about wealth and wealthy. Holy fuck, man! There's like some shit getting aligned because I got so much stuff going in my head that I just like want to, right? Just share about what's been going on, and I'm now starting to own the fact that I'm actually creating that.
Yeah, and have been creating it,
and have been creating it. And to your point, I always think I'm like, oh well, the money's not there.
That again, back to the wealthy.
Exactly. Yes. So that's what I'm starting to see. Oh, because you were talking about it earlier, and I thought to myself, oh shit. Okay, this is supposed to be a secret because the wife wants the wow factor when everybody walks in and sees it. But think about this for a second. I manifested a brand new couch yesterday, or earlier this week. It's fucking beautiful. Costs the same as any couch I ever bought from Costco that I've been disappointed with the last 7 years. $1,000, right? I had like 2 couches. Terrible. Get this couch. Didn't cost me a dime. Okay, this is normally really bad financial advice, right? I go into this place. We talk to the guy. I get the fucking store credit thing. The guy goes, oh yeah, no payments for 6 months. I'm like, cool. Normally that's like the worst. You know what I'm going to do? In February, I'm just going to take a policy loan and pay that couch off. But I just got a brand new couch for my family, and I don't think about it like, that's being resourceful.
Yeah.
Actually, something we needed, something we wanted. I actually created that.
Manifesting.
But also, same thing. Being on stage with stand-up, I thought about it that night. I was like, holy shit, that just happened. I actually just did. That just got created.
And isn't it weird that nobody else is in that like zone with you celebrating, right? Because nobody knows. But you do. In your head, you're like, yeah. You know, you're fucking, you're jacked, but nobody else is there.
That needs to change.
Yeah, 100% agreed.
The celebration.
100% agreed. The celebration. We've got 5 guys here, man. This is horsepower. One person can do what one person can do, but 2 people, it becomes exponential. 2 people can do what 3 people can do. Do you see?
Yeah, man.
And 3 people can do what 5 people can do. So we're going to explode this shit. So we have an experiment. The thing to be present to over the next holidays while things are a bit slower is what do I/we, what do I want? What do I want?
Want to create.
And then we share it, and we share it, and we with each other, and we, okay, where are you weak? Please hold your point. Where are we weak? And I'll tell you guys right now, my thing is diet and exercise. I know what to do. I know what I want.
You're going to connect with Patrick.
What I want is to realize my potential athletically, and for no other reason than for me.
We should all go to the gym.
I want to go to the gym. I want to get my black belt is what I actually want to do, and I want to do
that would
jiu-jitsu.
be cool if we all went to the gym on a regular basis.
Yes,
at the same time. I'm not saying you go Thursdays and I go Fridays. Like actually, because my brother's been wanting.
But here's the thing.
No, gym day.
What I want to tie back real quick though is to your point. Yeah, go to the gym. This is really crucial and it's subtle. Okay, fellas, I know what to do.
Oh, totally.
And it's
I
not
know
making a difference.
exactly what to do. I'm not connected to what's possible. I need you guys to help remind me, Vern. If you're fucking chiseled at 36, your kids are like at that age, you can like just think about what's possible for yourself. What is that going to make available? How much more willing would I be to get on stage? Hello? If I was peeled at 36, like just feeling good, think about that. Add that to your repertoire. That is inevitably going to create more positive results in my life. I'm going to have a bigger impact on people just because I feel better about myself. And it's missing. And I haven't been able to create it on my own because that's what I secretly try to do. Like, oh, I got this. I'm just going to show up one day and people are going to be like, man, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Guess what? Hasn't worked.
Yeah, it's the silent suffering and the silent victories. It's that kind of balance of both, where
100%.
you're like you keep it and you're like, oh, I'm suffering with this, and then you're like hoping that at some point you're gonna adjust and fix that. But then even your victory is going to be silent because you didn't bring anybody along with it. And this is it right here, allowing other people to invest in you.
Yeah.
So that they can
said.
celebrate when you reach that place too, because in some part, your fitness becomes my responsibility. But when we get there together, I feel great too. I'm like, fuck yeah, I helped Vern become fit, right? And that seems kind of selfish, but also
No,
It's necessary.
in the sense of
Necessary.
holding each other accountable to our own actions. It's necessary. Yeah.
Okay, you were going to say something.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry.
The segue.
Chris. Very patient. Well done.
I'm very finished. Well done. Wow.
It's a perfect segue to part of what I went to Italy to teach, and also, well, I'll create it this way. Everything in creation is sound and vibration. Everything. So when you're thinking about and when you're formulating, like, what do I want? The next step, and the reason why, Landmark as an example always is like, oh yeah, go share it with 3 people, right? Like go find 3 people and like enroll them, register them in what you're up to. The thing that we miss is it is about the sound and vibration. However, it's very much about the fact that when you declare it, it becomes law. Right?
What do you mean by that?
So
Unwrap that, because that can be pretty.
it becomes law. Yeah. So because we have free will, we are sovereign beings, right? We have free will, we have free choice. And because all that is created through sound and vibration, right? So creation comes into being through sound and vibration. As human beings, we create using our word. Right? So what we declare becomes law in the universe, i.e., it is now manifest. Everything that you speak becomes. Everything that you speak exists.
To dial this down a little bit differently, it's, I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong, it becomes our law, like as human being.
So, yes. So what you could say is that because we are individuated 3-dimensional expressions of 7.5 billion on the planet of life, there's 7.5 billion versions of law and 7.5 billion versions of truth, and 7.5 billion versions of expression and 7.5 billion versions of
and they all influence
alignments,
each other.
and because they are all quantumly entangled, each one pulls and postures all the rest of them. So when you declare something, as in like, I have now declared that this is law for me, for this expression of creation that I am.
My desires, my wants, my needs, whatever that is.
So like I hereby declare, and I hereby declare that I am this. So as an example, like I hereby declare that my body is fit and healthy.
and express the gratitude for that.
Not even so much so this is before you get to the gratitude.
Right.
It's that you are stating with the creative capacity that is imbued in you that this is the way it is. Why? Because you said so. Flat.
Yeah, and then there's something to be done about it, which are very different. We tend to collapse the two together.
Yes.
Right? In our simplistic, overly entitled egomaniac, we think that's all it takes.
See, and in a roundabout way, this is crazy, because I'm sure at some point in time in your marriage, your wife has gone, "Oh, I like your little teddy bear." And then you're like, I like to be my wife's teddy bear. And I'm paraphrasing for the sake of illustrating here. But now you're like, I like that. I make my wife happy, and so I don't have to do anything other than
I just gotta maintain it
for that. Exactly. And so now that's what you kind of speak into the universe and declare for your identity.
Is that just an example?
Yeah, it's an example. I agree with that, because it's some program that I'm running.
Right.
Yeah.
My suspicion is that came into your life before your wife came into your life.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, hands down.
Because your wife is a creation of that, right? Your life with her, how that all came into being because of, or in alignment to, whatever was declared from a young age.
Totally.
So the whole idea is,
I met my wife because I had a broken heart.
There you go.
Really?
Absolutely.
I didn't know that.
That's why I ran out here.
There you go.
Radical self-awareness.
So break that down. What do you mean?
What would I have been able to achieve had I had more awareness of what was going on that I was generating and creating? Like, what would that have been like? I have no idea, right? But and it is, hindsight is whatever, but that's the thing, we got to be mindful of it.
So how do we take what we know now, though, and do something impactful with it? And I think it's happening right now in the conversations that we have and how we share that, but also, like, how many of us have kids here?
Yeah, totally. Well, consider this podcast as a reference.
This level of thinking now has already elevated who we are and how we operate as human beings, but now you need to impart that onto your own and continue this ripple effect of human evolution.
We just, it's a way of being.
Yeah.
We just live it.
Yeah, it's simpler than you think, actually.
One thing I would offer
Go ahead.
is let's not worry so much about the how.
That was exactly going to be my point. The how is not your responsibility.
It figures its way out.
We just create, and
the how is the universe's responsibility.
When you're thinking it, you manifest it.
Exactly. But what we can do is only focus and worry about the controllables.
You should read the book Psycho-Cybernetics, by the way.
I actually have it. I'm like a chapter into it right now, and I was like, oh shit, this is some deep shit.
It talks about that.
It's such a good book. But if we just take the actions consistently, like doing what we know to do, right? So for me, it would be obviously things with my physical body. It's not to say that we're not all doing that. We're all doing that, but it's going to be easier for some of us than others.
Yes.
Doing our writing, doing our meditation, doing the things that we know to do. There's certain things that we're all going to struggle with inside of that, and doing the things on a consistent basis. But that's why we're all here, to hold each other. And we know that, are we going to drop the ball? Yeah, it's part of the process, but we're all coming together on a regular basis to hold each other, to selfishly endeavor in fucking creating ourselves such that we can be more for everybody else in our worlds.
Yep.
Like our kids.
Yep.
Right? That's what it's all about.
I want to thank you for listening. We really hope that what you're hearing is of value. If there is something that you are curious about, or you wanted to share, or you had a question around, or even some feedback, we want to hear from you guys. Say hi at the GYST.life on Instagram or on Facebook. And if you do like what you hear, go to iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, Stitcher, wherever your flavor is, and leave us a review. Tell us what you think. Let us know how we did. We'd love to hear from you.